Hey guys, week 6 digital media. Mr. Tatum here. Uh, this week we're going to have 2 more assignments. The first assignment that I'm going to go over with you is lesson 16, working with layers. We're going to download an image from the internet into your Pixlr software online, and then we're going to make duplicates of that in different layers. And we're going to also incorporate changing the hue from lesson 10 that we did in this lesson also to distinguish those different layers. It shouldn't take you too terribly long. I'm going to walk you through the process now. You can pause and rewind if you need to go through this with me. So I'm going to go through it a little slow to hopefully help you out. And if you have any questions after watching the video, you may email me, or you may post a comment or question in your Google Classroom. So here we go. Let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is go to Google. I've got it typed in here already. And you're going to want to search for an appropriate picture that you want to use. I'm going to search for Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. That's his stage name, of course. He's the fictional character Sheldon on Big Bang. So when I pull that up, you notice I get all. So the first thing I want to do is switch over to images. So I'm going to select underneath here the images. So now I get a whole bunch of different images. Well, in order to do this properly, I want to make it a little easier on myself. So one of the things that we can do when we're searching for images is we can search for only a particular type of image. And I want an image where it's just the person that I'm looking for in this case. I just want Sheldon. I don't want any background or anything else. So I want a transparent background with nothing else. So in order to find those types of images, I'm going to go here to Tools and Color. So when I click the drop down, notice I've got any color, black and white, and there is transparent right there. So if I select transparent, it's going to change my options that I see on the screen now. So I've got different options. Now all of these options hopefully will be transparent backgrounds. Occasionally you do get one that's not, in which case you'll just move on and find you a different one. But they're usually pretty good about it. So I'm going to go through here and find me one that I want to use. And I see right off the bat here, I like the Sheldon with the purple shirt with the loser sign up here. So I'm going to select it. There you go. Okay, so indicative of our transparent background, you notice our little checkerboarded filament here. When we've done the other ones that you've created your own transparent backgrounds where you've had to go in there and erase everything and do this yourself, makes it much easier if you can just find one like this. Otherwise, you're going to spend 30, 40 minutes just creating your own image like this with a transparent background. So with the checkerboarded background, you can see that it is. It's small enough, too, that it's going to be easier to work with, 400 by 440. It doesn't matter what size you get. We can work with. I like this one, so I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click on it, and I'm going to copy my image address. Now, you can download it if you want to, but there's no need. We can work with Pixlr. We can work straight from the image address. So I'm going to copy image address, and then I'm going to open up my Pixlr. So I've already got it typed into pixlr.com. I selected the Pixlr E for the enhanced version. So once that comes up here for you, we are going to create a new, we are not going to create a new, we're going to load a URL. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste that URL that I just copied from here. When I right-click, copied image address, I just right-click and paste, or Control-V to paste, and then I'm going to load, and there we go. It loads right up, just like I want. Now notice, most of the time when we do this, over here in our layer section, which is what we're working with, most of the things we've worked with up until now have all been single layer things. So we're going to really start diving into getting into multi-layer things, like we did with the other softwares. So here we go. We got layers. The background layer, since it's the original base layer that we've created here. Notice the little lock on here. So to get rid of that lock so we can actually manipulate this, we're just going to do a double click on it. And the lock goes away, and now the layer is unlocked. Nice and easy. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to expand this out. So what I want to do is I want to go to my image option up here, my image tab. And I don't want to change the image size. I want to change my canvas size. And that's going to be the background portion so that I can create multiple pictures on here. So I'm going to change my canvas size. And I'm going to leave the height the same, but I'm going to create my width, and I'm going to take whatever that number is there. It's 400, and I'm going to multiply that by 4. Because I'm going to have 4 different pictures on here. Now, we're not going to use the full width of that because they're going to be together. But I'm still going to go ahead and do that. 1600. So 4 times 400 is 1600. If yours is 800, you can do 3200. I wouldn't probably go over 1600 though. 1600. So that would be a good basis to start from right there. And the height can stay the same. Nothing else needs to change. Just click apply. So notice it gets really big. So I'm going to use my scroll and on the mouse and scroll that down so I can see the entire thing on the screen. Okay. You can use your view and zoom in and out, or control plus minus to zoom in and out also. So once we're to this point, the first thing I want to do is change my background name here. Oh, sorry. Change my background name. So I'm going to right click on there, go to the name, and I'm going to change that. Instead of background, I'm going to put that as image 1. And click out of there, it changes it, and then I'm going to close that. Okay. So there we go. So now I'm going to go over here and make sure that my move tool or my range tool has been selected. Notice this is what we have highlighted. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to move that over almost to the edge over here. Put him about right there. So now what I do is create another one. So I can go in there and download an image and do that again, but it's much easier. I'm just going to right click over here on the layer section. Notice this pops back up where I changed my name again. So, but this time I'm going to go down here and notice the little double window here. That's my duplicate layer. So when I do that, it's going to make a duplicate or a copy of that layer. It doesn't look like it did anything, but it actually put it directly on top of the original layer. So what I can do now, my range tool is still selected, so I can grab that one and move it off. I'm not going to move it completely off of him. I'm going to move it over like that so that they're still touching. And then I'm going to let it go. So now I've duplicated my layer. So now I have 2 layers that I'm working with. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click on this one, right click. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change this to image 2 now. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. And my range tool is still selected. I'm now on image 2 copy. So I'm going to grab it and move it over about the same way I did the other one. So you can see now why we don't need, especially if your picture is like 800, we don't need a 3200 pixel wide image because we're not going to take all that up. We're only going to move these over so far. And 16, like I said, 16 is probably too much in this case. I can tell it's going to be, but it's fine. So I'm going to go over here, right click on my image 2 copy. I'm going to change that. This is now image 3. So I'm going to delete that out, image 3, and I'm going to duplicate that layer again. So now I have image 3 copied. My range tool is still selected. I'm going to grab him, drag him over, like so. Come over here, make that image 4. So, now there you have it. I've got all 4 of my images touching each other in different layers. So now I can manipulate each one of those layers without affecting the other layers. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to come down here and scroll down. I'm going to go back to my image 1 layer. Now my image 1 layer is going to be my original layer. I'm not going to touch it. He's going to stay just as he is. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here to image 2. And what we're going to do with image 2 is we're going to adjust his hue like we did on lesson 10. So I'm going to go to the adjustment feature, the tab at the top, come down to hue and saturation. I'm going to move that over to the side here so I can see what's going on. I'm going to select the colorize so to compare. I'm sorry, wrong one. Select the colorize tab. So now you can see I've changed the hue of him, and he's bright blue. Perfect. That's where I want him. He's going to be blue, the first one. The next one's going to be green, and then the fourth one we're going to turn into red. So after I've done that, I'm going to click apply. I'm going to go back over here to my layers. I'm going to scroll up, select image 3. Notice it highlights image 3. I'm going to go back to my adjustment tab. Go back down to hue and saturation. So I'm going to change my hue. Here's my green right over here. I need to select colorize. Notice he's blue again because I'm right here in the center. But I'm going to take that sliding bar and I'm going to move that. See how he turns green? And if I keep going, he's going to turn yellow and then to the bright red. And then if I go the other way, he gets to a dark blue, more of a red, and to another bright red. So we're wanting green, so we're going to go back over here. And I'm going to say, somewhere about there. I'm going to apply that. So now I've got original, blue, and green. So I'll finish the third one. I'm going to go back over here to my layers, scroll up, select image 4, go back to my adjustment tab, go back to hue and saturation, move this so I can see him. I'm going to select colorize, and now I'm going to change the saturation. We're going to go all the way over here to the right to red. And apply. And there we have it. I'm going to click off of there. Now you can see I've got the original. I've got my blue hue, my green hue, and my red hue. And they're all on different layers, and I can manipulate those, as I said, all individually. So now you have finished this exercise. So what I want you to do here is you're going to take a screenshot of your work so that I can see that you've got all of your images over here. Okay? So what you may have to do, like I may have to move my history and let's see here. Okay. So I deleted my history. Didn't need to see that. So now I can see all 4 of my layers. Perfect. So I'm going to come back over here. So I'm going to do a screenshot. So Windows Shift S for the snipping tool. And then I'm going to select that whole thing so that I can see that like that. It's now copied. And now I can open up my digital media, And I can go down here. Oops. I cannot type. Week 6. This is lesson 16. And I can paste that in there. I need to move it down. I may have to resize it so that I can see it. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so perfect. So now I can see all 4 of those. I can see the images over here in the layers, so I can tell that you've done it correctly, and you'll get full credit for that assignment. Once you've done that, you're going to go to your share, copy link, done. Go in there and upload that for your assignment. If you are using a Chromebook, that's going to be your Windows split screen, which is the triple monitor deal in the middle that I showed y'all previously. And y'all seem to be pretty good on the screenshots. But if you have any questions, the video's still up there if you don't remember, but hopefully you do. Or you can email me or post a comment in the classroom, and I can let you know. Other than that, I think we are finished with this lesson, and we'll be on to the next lesson in the next video.